Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith, and today is Thursday, June 9th, 2022. And I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts from California. Please welcome back Sonny Conway and Spooky Morales.
Good morning,
Hello, everybody. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, you two. What's going on? It's Thursday.
I've been up. I ate breakfast and everything this morning. I'm feeling
dude,
better.
You were up really early. I was kind of afraid that you weren't going to be here, but I'm glad to see you. I saw you an alien girl.
Early. I'm gonna go hunting or fishing, so you're lucky I showed up.
Me too. Yeah, I'm glad that you did show up. Yeah, I saw you an alien girl, and I'm adding up the times. I'm like, 7 o'clock here is 4 in California. Sonny didn't go to bed.
I did. I went to bed early.
So that was cool.
I didn't want to miss Alien Girl 111. I don't want to be the only person that don't know anything.
Well, when she mentioned that I was just listening driving home, and when she was like, "Hey, we got Paranormal Chop Shop in here about Wreck the Truck." Like, Paranormal Chop Shop? What the hell's he doing up? And Spooky, how'd you sleep? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very good, Chad. Thank you. I was just getting over the reaction to the new Paranormal Chop Shop hours that I woke up to. So
yeah, guys, the new Chop Shop hours are on Fridays at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. We're gonna
people
be
are like,
late, folks.
What you talking about, Willis?
Chad's getting moved to afternoon shift, so we have no other choice but to move the time.
The after party is now the show.
The after party is now the show, which means the after party for the show is going to be even crazier.
Oof.
And how can you see that part of the show, Spooky?
You can see that. I don't know if Jamie can bring it up, but
I can bring it up.
You can see. You can get exclusive VIP pass to the Paranormal Chop Shop after hours, after show party. If you become, and this is a guaranteed pass, if you become a member to the Chad Smith Podcast Supporter Plus, brought to you by Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah, guys, if you go to buymeacoffee.com/Chad Smith PC, there's 2 different options to support the show. We have a $5 a month option that gets you a shout out on a monthly basis and a Chad Smith Podcast sticker. And then for $10 a month, you get the same benefits as the $5 option. You get a shout out every month, a morning show sticker, and you also get a private invitation to a Chop Shop after party, or to all of the Chop Shop after parties. So after the Chop Shop, we get off the air and things get crazy, and we don't talk about it after the show, and nothing gets recorded.
Kind of like Vegas.
Nothing can come back on you. Yeah, it's kind of like Vegas. Whatever happens on the Chop Shop stays there.
That's right.
So that's what you get for
parties.
That's right. So that's what's included with the $10 a month option, and we really appreciate all your support.
But we wouldn't be doing everybody justice if we didn't mention that it's not only available on the Chad Smith Podcast, Buy Me a Coffee, but it's also available on the Paranormal Chop Shop, Buy Me a Coffee.
Right.
You can get the same deal with both podcasts. Buy Me a Coffee.
I don't know if we could do a video of a sneak peek of an after party, but we can just spread rumors.
We could spread rumors, yeah.
Yeah, that was it though. You can't. There's no.
All you need. You don't even need to do a
video.
video. You don't need a fancy video. You just need a shot, a picture of the goat with her T-shirt pulled up over her head. That's enough. That'll tell everybody.
No, not that goat. Not that goat.
When you see Labia walking in through outer space, that's always a good one.
Flavia?
Labia, JoJo's dog.
Oh my god, I thought you said
licking her lips.
I said Labia. I didn't say Flavia. I know that dog's name.
Oh my god, we need to bring it. We need to bring our guest up before things get too crazy.
Yep.
Hey Sam. Good morning, everybody in the chat.
But yeah, so that's on buymeacoffee.com, and I threw that link in the chat if anybody wants to help us out. We really appreciate that. And we also have merch. If you want to go to chadsmithpodcast.com, there's merch on there, and we update that fairly often. We got some new stuff on there. There's Spooky Morales merch on there. There's also some Chop Shop merch on there too if you want to check that out. And we'll be updating that whenever we get new ideas for merch. So guys, we have somebody backstage. His name is John Montelongo. Hopefully I got that right. We'll ask him when he gets on here. He's a paranormal photographer, an investigator, and an experiencer. You can check him out on YouTube. He's got a link. I put the link in the description. He's also got a TikTok, and that link is also in the description. So please support him on both of his channels. So let's see. Yeah, and please welcome John to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
What's going on, man?
Hello. So we got 2 spookies on the bottom. 2 spookies. So John, how did you get?
So they don't fight.
Yeah.
Battle to the end.
We got into this a little bit before the show, but do you mind sharing like how you got your spooky name, and we'll have Spooky Morales kind of explain when he got his?
Yeah, well, mine came upon when I was doing a couple of investigations, and back then I didn't know I had abilities and stuff like that, so I would just let stuff, come at me, and then I would just embrace it. And then there was a couple of times where my eyes would just like completely go black, and I would be out of it, and that's just how the name came about. And then how I would just react, and just how I would act during investigations. They're just like, man, he's acting spooky again, and it just kind of just stayed with me. So yeah, I just ran with it and designed a logo and made it a brand. So it's like, okay, I'll just skip it.
That's a cool story. Yep.
Not for them. They didn't like it.
Oh, I think it's cool. Watch out, Spooky Boy's coming.
Oh man!
And Mr.
Imagine his
Morales.
eyes turning black.
Yeah, that'd be strange.
Feel the roar,
An
spooky.
investigation.
When we were young in the family, cousins, and then of course friends from around the neighborhood, everybody would give each other nicknames, and there was all these nicknames like Smiley, and girls would call themselves names like Giggles, and I always got the spooky one because they said I was always talking about ghosts and aliens and UFOs and everything. So that's how I got spooky. It's been like that since 12 years. I was 12 years old.
Oh, that's so ironic. It's almost like the same story. It's awesome. So you guys were just meant to do this kind of stuff.
I guess so. Funny story is my sister growing up, her name was actually Giggles.
See?
and so in her little circle of friends.
Yeah. Where are you guys at,
Giggles.
man? Where you live at? Or where did you...
We're in Texas.
Oh, so you grew up in Texas?
Actually, we grew up more in Oregon, like near the Portland area. And then we moved over here to Texas. Well, we first went into New Mexico and everything. And that's where we kind of picked up all the funny names and everything like that. And, and then when we moved to Texas, there was a couple of friends one of my best friends who just came from California. He was like in the Dickies and the Ben Davises and everything like that. And then it just became more of like a culture thing in our little community with our friends. And we gave each other names and all this other stuff. And my sister was his name Giggles. and then Dimples. So
Giggles and Dimples.
I know a lot of Dimples.
Giggles, Dimples, and Spooky.
My brother was Smiley.
Yeah,
that's awesome. God, my friend, I'm starting to learn that my friends were all lame.
Yeah.
We just
give
called
each other names.
Yeah, we just called each other Chad and Mike and Steve and.
Hey man, we can do nicknames right now if you want to do it. If you got one you want, let us know.
I'm sure the chat room's probably got a couple different nicknames for me that I'm not aware of.
Think about the merch possibilities.
Yeah, that's true.
Very.
2 Spookies and a Chad and a Sonny.
Chad in Fresno, they would call him Weddle.
Call me what?
Weddle. Yeah.
Weddle.
Sonny knows the word weddle.
What's that mean?
Huero. Weddle.
Weddle.
That's in Espanol, and that is a white boy.
Is it really?
Amy called him vanilla today on the show. I was dying laughing.
She did, and then Sonny called me out on it in the chat room.
See, I like the nickname Chaquetes. You know what Chaquetes is? Cheeks.
Cheeks, yeah.
What the hell?
How do you say above the shoulder cheeks?
Like the shoulder cheeks.
Above the shoulders cheeks.
No, Chaquetes, everybody knows what that is.
Cheeks.
You got cheeks up here and you got cheeks down there. The ones down there are called nalgas.
Nalgas. I'm learning Spanish. Oh my gosh.
Teaching him all the bad stuff.
Yeah, this ain't so much proper Spanish, everybody.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
This is the
all
slang
about-
from SoCal.
Yeah, this is all slang stuff. So
They still call that Spanglish.
yeah,
See,
Exactly.
Spanglish.
Mhm.
Simone.
Yeah, that was funny when she called me vanilla, and then Sonny's like, "Did you hear that, Chad? Did you hear that? She called you. She done called you vanilla." I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake, I can't go anywhere anymore."
Matt from Second Star Survival calls me spicy chorizo.
Yup, that is so funny when he does that. Hey, Spooky, my little spicy chorizo. Like, oh boy. God, that was a fun show last night that you guys were on. No, was that last night? Night before. You and
2 nights ago we were on Oracles and Beyond with Cassie and Carol Exo.
yeah, that was a fun time.
And it
John,
was
do you-
Eric did readings.
Do you do a lot of shows like this, or do you just do your own show? Do you go on other people's shows a lot?
you talking to me?
Yeah.
I go on a lot of other podcasts. I haven't had time to really. I mean, the idea was always been there, but I just never had time to just sit down and actually do, figure out the platform and all that other stuff. And I had one, but it was just the amount of cases that I was getting. It just got too overwhelming. Even right now, like I'm sitting on 4 or 5 cases right now that I need to review, and it's plus a documentary that I was actually a part of. So it was. I'm just backed up. So I just don't have time for anything right now. So
Yeah.
You made it here.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we appreciate you
Yeah,
hanging out with
thank
us, man. Sounds like your time is very valuable. So
Yeah.
no problem.
appreciate it. So when did you get started with the paranormal investigation side of things?
So the paranormal has always been around, growing up into it. And, of course, Spooky will probably just relate to this, but, being, I don't want to say, like Hispanic culture and Mexican culture, we kind of just grow up into it, with like our families, our grandmas being like curanderas and stuff like that. So, that has always been around. So it just came, very natural to me. So then once I actually started growing up and start trying to figure out like why am I seeing shadows? Why am I hearing my name getting called out in the middle of the dark, or something is just like, passing by my window, or even seeing these long, slender black shadows inside my living room. It was just like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I need to try to understand.
Mhm.
And then once I actually was around, I think I was like 17, 18 or something like that, it's when I just decided to like, what, I'm just going to figure this out for myself, because it wasn't as popular as it is now. So like my parents or my dad, who was pretty much like the same thing, but he would never really talk about, this is what happens, or this is what have I experienced, and don't be scared because this is this and this is that, so it was all taboo back then. So you would just be like people would look at you crazy just to bring up ghosts. I see a ghost and they're like, it's not mental, he's dumb, so like, so it was just like that. But getting into it, it slowly but surely became more of a calling. So it was always been a calling for me. I just didn't know in what aspect, what direction I needed to go in, but when I found out, I started, doing like cases, like the darker stuff, and then just straight up just handle only those types of cases, stuff that people really need help in, not, going to a hotel for shits and giggles, but just going to actual homes, people who are in very desperate need of help. That's why I got into it, and that's why I'm still here.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because most people do get into it just for like the entertainment value of things, but that's
Yeah.
cool that you got into it to actually help people out and provide some service for
Hmm.
anyone that might need it.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
cool.
just going into like some of these places, and talking to people. I mean, a lot of them just need to find somebody who can be on their level, letting them know like, hey, you're not crazy. I've been there before, and that kind of helps out in a lot more ways than one that you realize. They just need somebody to validate that they are seeing something or they are feeling something in that corner. So when you get there, and it's for me, it's more than just investigations. You're doing counseling, you're sitting there with them, then you're doing investigations and all this other stuff. So that's why it is like my first priority is my clients, and I'm not worried about what's paranormal. I want to see what's going on with them first before I continue. So we do things a little bit differently in my on my team. So it's not just like straight up we're going to go and get some evidence. There's a lot of things other to it.
No, that's a great psychological service that you're providing for people that might need it, because there's a lot of experiencers that they might have some really close friends that they can trust with some secrets or whatever, but that might be crossing a line, as far as like believability, and they might trust, their closest friend with something like a secret, like, hey, I saw a black shadow, I saw, something. And maybe that person, the one person in their life that they think they can rely on and trust, thinks that they're crazy. So it's really cool to have somebody like you where it's like, no, you're not crazy. And, let's dig into what you're seeing and let's see what's going on there. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly like that.
Excellent. So that's actually pretty young. You started out kind of like 17, 18, you said? That's awesome.
I mean, I've seen stuff all throughout my childhood. So it was, like my brother was like putting together some kind of clip, and he's like, hey, I need some clips of you reacting to stuff, like running off. I'm like, dude, I don't run off. It's like, if something happens, I'm kind of like, oh, can you do that again? It's just like, whatever, so, cause I've been numb to it for so long, now the only way they'll get my attention if they can actually move a sofa to the other side of the room. I'm like, okay. That's something.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm kind of like, all right, it's cool. You said my name out loud.
I bet you can't wash all my dirty clothes.
Yeah, put a challenge, dirty clothes challenge.
Yeah, start having the ghosts do some chores around the house if they're going to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, for real.
So you said a lot of the people that you were hanging out with at that age kind of thought you were crazy. I mean, they weren't on your side with it.
Well, it was not I didn't speak about this to any of my friends, but family, it was family that we knew stuff was going on in the house. It was never brought up, so I would see stuff and I would tell my mom, and she would be like, oh, just don't pay attention to it. Behind closed doors, she would be like, hey, John is seeing like a shadow. And then my dad would go do his thing somewhere in the house and then come back. And then he was like, hey, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And he was like, okay. So like, it was just like, not those things like, I'm going to go take care of this, but I'm not going to tell you what's going on, type of thing. So, but, I kind of wish that he did take that time and tell us about what's going on in the house, because, my sister and my brother, we all have like some sort of ability, but my dad used to like dreamwalk and stuff like that. And he never really explained, what was going on, especially to us, so when I just had to kind of figure it out by myself. And now that I have kids, I'm seeing that they're kind of going through the same path as I am. So I'm actually taking the time and just explaining to them like, hey, this is kind of normal in our family. So don't be shocked, but also be prepared for what's going to come next, because once your light starts to get brighter, things want to come and approach you. Things want to come talk to you. So don't freak out. It's just part of what we are, so to speak. So,
right.
It runs in our bloodline on both sides of our family. So there's no escaping it.
And what was their reactions to you having that conversation with them?
They were my daughter, my son was just like, yeah, I don't have anything. And then, as soon as that conversation was over with, a week later, he started experiencing stuff. And I was just like, okay, well, now you're more open to it, because I don't know if I put that into his mind, or he's just now just realizing like, okay, well, this is actually happening and I'm not realizing it.
Right.
But my oldest, he was more open to it because he was actually dreaming stuff and it was actually coming true. So he just didn't know how to, explain it to me or anything like that. And he was kind of on the fence and just coming to me and talking to me about it. So I just kind of opened that door so that way, there's communication there. There's nothing to be hiding. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't be afraid of coming to me. If there's something crazy happening in your life and you can't explain it, come to me and talk to me about it because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So it's like paranormal parenting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really cool that you're so open-minded with them.
Yeah, especially nowadays. I mean, it's something that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
What's Dreamwalk? What's Dreamwalking?
It's like when you're the way I kind of did some research on it. So it's pretty much like when you're sleeping, and then once you get into that REM phase, like you get your body, your soul, or whatever it is, your spirit comes out of your body, and then you start actually seeing like your body. You're on top of your body somewhat, and you're looking at yourself, and then you start going into like other places and stuff like that, and then you really think it's just a dream, but it's actually happening. So that's what
it's like OBE, the out of body experience, like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or some people call it astral walking or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
astral projection.
Yeah. So my dad did that a lot. So.
So when he was doing that, you guys were witnessing him?
No. I mean, no.
Oh, okay.
I was sleeping next to my dad in the bed. No.
Right. I'm like, what would that look like if somebody was asleep and they were doing that? Like, that was my.
Are you able to do that, John?
No, I've never done it. I've had a dream before, like probably last month, that it seemed like so freaking real, but I was just like, I don't know if this is actually happening or anything like that. But I don't think I've ever done it. But the only reason why we know is because my mom told us about it. Like after my dad had waken up from it, he was telling my mom, and my mom was like literally trying to tell him, like, I was there trying to wake you up and you wouldn't wake up, and he was explaining, well, like I was seeing you shaking me, and then I just went off into the cloud and I just went to other places and all this other stuff, and he wouldn't wake up, and then all of a sudden, he just like back in his body and he's up, and I was like, okay, well, that's never happened to me before. So yeah, but he has some stuff that we probably still don't know what he's experienced and stuff like that. So I'm slowly pulling out those stories from my mom, and she's getting a little older, so she's slowly forgetting those stories and those stuff that happened. So I'm trying to gather as much stories as possible.
Yeah, we'd like to get her on for an interview as soon as possible.
She'll be all excited about it and thinking she's famous.
You are famous now.
She will be if she comes on the Chad Smith podcast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 15 years.
She would be excited about it. Yeah, she would.
Well, that would be cool, actually. There you go, Spooky, your first booking.
We'll get a whole family. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Oh yeah, because you could just start asking about different experiences that they've had, and then just talking about it would bring up more memories.
Well, earlier you were saying something about, getting called crazy when you're younger, and it's like, imagine like when you have little kids around you and they tell you that they have like imaginary friends, right?
Yeah.
Well, now people like Spooky, we grow up and we still have imaginary friends. So of course people are going to call you crazy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who just don't want to let go of certain things. And, as we get older, we start learning like those things are attachments. Those things are something completely different than what we think are, so, that's like a whole different other story when you want to start talking about that. But yeah, I mean, my first experience when it was crazy because I was a child, but it is so burnt in my mind that I never ever forgot about it. This was when I was like probably when I was still in diapers, and we were visiting my cousins in the Panhandle somewhere in Olton. I don't know if you guys know where Olton, Texas is at, but it's like a small little community. I think the cows are more popular than
There's more
human
cows than
beings there.
people.
Yeah. So I just remember walking by and my mom putting me facing the stairs, and I just remember this old lady who was sitting on the top of the stairs, all in black, long black hair, and she was actually calling me up, up the stairs. And that I never forgot about that. And then I found out later, when I started actually asking people about this and about that, I talked to my cousins about that house, and they're like, yeah, we actually saw an old woman up there. We actually had a priest come up there, and he ran out the stairs. He didn't want to bless the house. I mean, then my cousin would tell me like, yeah, there was like an entity that would crawl on top of him during his sleep, and then wake him up, and then take him into like this hidden room that was in the back of his bedroom, and that's when they would hang out for the rest of the night. And I was just like, what in the world, man? That actually happened. That's actually true. He's like, yeah, that's true. And I was like, boom, there's facts there that what I seen when I was a toddler or kid or a baby that actually did happen. I wasn't just like making that shit up. So it's that little incident stuck with me, like, I mean, forever,
Right.
So now, I mean, from what I hear, the house is still up, but it's behind a big fence and all this other stuff. Nobody's in it. So I'm like, I think I might have to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go reconnect.
Yeah. Oh, were you going to say something, Spook?
No, it's just he brings up a lot of memories for me. When I was only 7 when I saw the first spirit and connected with the spirit world, and there was a house, an old, really old. It must have been like from the turn of the century or something, and it was on my aunt's farm.
Yeah,
massive farm. That was the aunt that had cows that were mutilated and missing in Northeast Tennessee. Yeah, but they had a farm. They had a huge farm, and it had like a few houses on it. Like they owned like the county, and one of the houses was all boarded up and everything. And they told us to stay away from it. They always said you can run around and you can have fun on the farm and see the animals, but you stay away from that house.
Ooh,
and
weird.
It reminded me when he was telling the story that was the first time that I had a spirit connection, and they called me to the house. A lady.
She called you to the house?
Yeah, because I wasn't going to stay away from it. You tell a kid to stay away from something, and that's the first place you're going to go.
It's the first thing I was just thinking of.
Especially me. I felt so drawn to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I think I've told you this before, Chad. My dad's friend Carl Willard lived here in Fowler, the town next to us. He had a 2-story house in Fowler, right on the main street of Fowler, that was haunted. The first things that like happened to him, that's I told you he called my dad and his brother. It was really, really early in the morning. I remember going over there as a kid, and because they went to go see what he was talking about.
Yeah.
All his furniture was turned around backwards, and he was pissed. He knew that my dad and Earl had went into his house while he was asleep and turned his couch was up against the wall. It was just turned around the other way and pushed up against the wall. All the chairs were turned around against the wall. None of the furniture was moved. It was just all turned around backwards. It wasn't moved to a different spot. So he was all pissed off that they came in and they were messing with his stuff, trying to scare him. Then it happened again. And they were telling him, we didn't do that, Carl. We didn't come in your house in the middle of the night, and so it happened again. And then he finally started seeing ghosts. He's seen a lady in his room. He got up and followed her out, watched her walk down the stairs, seen her in the room a bunch of times. He said he's seen a guy, an older man with a white beard and a hat, I think, and then also a little kid. So that was, I never seen anything. And he swears to this day. I've tried to get him on the show to tell that story, but yeah, I remember as a kid going there that first time though, and seeing all the furniture turn around backwards and thinking, I thought Carl did it, and
Mhm.
he was trying to fool my dad and Earl by blaming it on them.
Right.
And he was scared. He didn't do it. He didn't do that. He thought someone was in his house.
That's
Dang, it's
creepy.
crazy.
What about you, Sonny? You don't have like a grandma or somebody older in your family that, you feel like, was kind of open to a connection with spirit or psychic abilities?
I was
It seems to me like you have something in your bloodline.
I was I was young. I was young when my grandpa died on my mom's side, so my mom's dad, and I seen him in my room, but I don't know if he was like had anything because he died when I was young. My granny from like he that's the Italian side of my family. Then from my dad's side, my granny was full blooded Indian,
Mhm.
and she would tell us things, you know, but not really.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing.
they
Nothing
just
that
kept
you've
that
seen
a
in the
secret.
sky, or yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Well,
like that.
Sonny gave us one of our coolest videos though, with the orb in front of the house.
Oh
Mhm.
man, that was my
Remember that one?
son. That was my son-in-law's mom. They think they think that was her. She had just passed away. What, the day before I think that video got taken. They started having things happen in the house, John. Uh,
Mhm.
they're okay. These my son-in-law is Mexican, so
Yeah,
his mom, she does. They have hardwood floors, and if
yeah.
you're in her house, she wants you to have socks or slippers on because you'll catch cold. If your feet get cold, you'll catch cold. So yeah, so
Yeah.
you gotta have socks and slippers on. The One of the brothers wasn't wearing his slippers. I think it was the night or the night after.
Mhm.
It might have been the same night as the video. It was the day before the video was shot, I think. So it was the same day, but during the day instead of night. He didn't have his slippers on. He was barefoot sitting on the couch next to his wife, and the
Yeah.
bathroom light across from them, across from the couch, it turned on. And his wife said, "Do you see that?" And he goes, "Yep." And he wouldn't look away from the TV or something. I guess he's like, "Yeah, I see it," or whatever. And as soon as they both looked at the light, it shut off. And then I know either that morning or the next morning, they had friends stay over
Mhm.
because it was their buddies and they were sad too. And they didn't want to leave their buddies,
Yeah.
alone. They're good friends. So they stayed over with him. His mom used to get up around 5 in the morning, and she would come in and turn on all the lights in the house to wake everybody up because it's time to get up. It's
Yeah.
it's 5 in the morning. So that morning, the next morning after she passed away, all the lights came on at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow.
And when the kids got up to turn them off, they all shut off. And they
Hmm.
don't have power problems house either, and they don't have motion lights or anything like that. They
Yeah.
just that just happened. That was happening,
Exactly.
and then
Hmm.
that's when he told me about that, and then he came out while we were doing the show, or it was after hours maybe, and he came out with a video on his phone. They have one of those cameras that's on the front porch. It's like a doorbell camera that's motion censored,
Yeah. One of those rings.
security camera.
Yeah.
That went off, and then as you're watching it, you're seeing bugs fly through it and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden up in the corner an orb appears, and it floats down like this, and then it moves and it stops here, and it looks like it just goes straight sideways off the porch and it disappears. But you
Oh wow.
watch it materialize in the camera and appear at the top of the camera and move down, and it's just like yeah, it's not just
Huh.
moving one direction, it's moving around, and then it just goes off the camera and disappears.
Oh wow. Huh.
We have that video, Chad. That might be on Chop Shops though.
I don't know why I'm blanking on that. It's like it never even happened in my memory.
What?
I don't know
Let me
what
see
that.
if it's in yours.
I have missing time, I think.
Uh-oh.
Sonny, how about you, man? You don't have it available?
I might. Let me see.
How long ago was that?
Not too long ago, Chad. A month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Man, I gotta stop smacking my head into things.
That was a cool one.
Let me see if I can find it.
John, what about anything else like cryptids? Have you ever seen any kind of Bigfoot or?
Growing up in Oregon, we've heard about it, of course, a lot. You know, so that's like one of the things that make one of the states. Yeah, one of the states for it. But I mean, never really. I mean, never seen anything. But I mean, growing up. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask if you've ever been asked to investigate a cryptid.
No, I have more, but it was more like UFO type of thing, you know, which it was actually a paranormal case. Then as we were there, it slowly started becoming something completely different. And to the point to where I had to call up one of my friends to just say, like, hey, what do you think about this? You know, radiation burns on this person and all this other stuff. They're missing time, all these other things. And we pretty much did what we had to do as far as like the case was concerned. And then, you know, we just gave the rest, you know, gave it to the UFO guys, so to speak. But yeah, I have like a weird photo from a camera, a trail cam, that it looks like there's like some kind of being that's there. It looks like you can see like I guess the uniform or whatever it is. And then you can see its long arms that are kind of going out. Then you'll see the head, and then it's like two horns that are going all the way up to the head. You know,
what?
Yeah, I think
I have
a
picture of that.
It's on my TikTok. It's on my TikTok.
Hey man, I was gonna tell you, your TikTok is sick. I really like it.
Is.
It's rocking.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I try. I mean, like I said, I'm behind on cases, so like whatever good clips that I get, I'm just like, okay, I gotta throw that out because, you know, if I don't, then it's just like I don't have anything to put out there. You know, I was trying to do like episodes and 30-minute episodes, but I was like, man, if I don't produce this real quick, and I'm already behind 5 cases, so I'm like, I need to put this out of there, you know. So,
man,
yeah,
do you happen to know which one it was?
Oh my gosh,
there's a lot. You got a lot of stuff on this TikTok. I love it. But
yeah, there's
it's hard.
It's one of the older ones, so you probably have to go all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see. Not being on my actual laptop, I don't think I can find it for you guys.
Well, here I could actually just pull up what I'm looking at. Maybe you can.
Okay, that might work.
So here's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah. Keep going. Let me see. Yeah, so it should be one more up. So you see that one with the white outline?
Here?
Yeah, that one. You see that how the headdress is, the arms and the 2 horns on top?
Oh yeah, right here. Is this the head part?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that big dark area that's back there,
yeah,
that is actual a little barn door. So whatever it was bigger than the actual building itself. So then along with that too, when we were outside, we had a trail camera facing upward, and we could see in the sky how there was like 3 lights that were in a triangle. And so the middle one would light up, then the left one and the right one, and they would just go, you know, completely like a big LED cut type of light. And they just went in circles and circles and circles, and they just died. And then shortly after that, the owner told me that they had a rock quarry next to it, and he thinks that there was something in there. So I was like, yeah, I'll go check it out, you know, because he was saying that there was like, he would see lights in the middle of all that. So, you know, I don't give a shit. I would just jump anything to go check it out. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, and I jumped that barbed wire fence and I start heading down that rock quarry, and I just got this crazy weird feeling. And so I'm right in the middle of it, and then I just start doing my prayer. And as soon as I started doing my prayer, it was like a circulation of just like wind was coming around me. And then there was a dog that was right next to me that was following me, and all I heard was him yelp, and then he just ran back up to the house. And that was, you know, I was just like, okay, well, this is weird. So that's when I called my UFO friend, and I was just like, hey, dude, so this is what's happening, you know. So he was just like, yeah, we want to take care of that and see what we can catch. So I haven't heard anything from him lately, but yeah, that was like my first experience as far as a case is concerned, as far as like, alien stuff. But
Yeah.
crazy.
I was going to show you. It kind of reminds me of this. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ryan Bledsoe, but he's
Yeah.
an experiencer, and his father is. This is
Mhm.
on his Instagram. It says, we are being heavily shadowed. Oh, wait, incredible work. Oh, it doesn't explain the photo. But anyway, this was a photo that was taken when they were out. I'm pretty sure this was by the Cape Fear River. But that being that you're seeing right there, that wasn't there in person.
Wow.
They didn't see that until after they developed, or actually until they looked at the pictures.
Oh, wow.
So that flash right here, the orb looking thing, and then this whole being right here was not there.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So it looks a lot like the one that you took a picture of.
Was that with the cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, but like you can even see like there's an eye,
Yeah.
another eye. I mean, it's like clear as day.
One of the craziest ones that I have is it's like an EVP session, and we're using like the Necrophonic app, and a lot of people are just like dismiss it and stuff like that because they think like it's listening to you and all this other stuff. But there was like one case that we had in near the Austin area, and I was just sitting there just trying to do the basic 1, 2, 3, simple questions. And then out of nowhere, this freaking EVP or this voice comes out of it, and it says, "I got a secret." And I was like, well, this is random. And I was like, what's your secret? And it took about 30 seconds, and it said, the earth is fake. I was like, okay. Yeah, it's on my TikTok, but I had to find it. I'll send you the link. But it says the earth is fake. And I was like, the earth is fake? Like, what in the world? I was asking about what's in the house. What's here? And it just says, I have a secret. The earth is fake.
It's a big secret.
I was like, what are we investigating?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not expecting to get that kind of an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earth that you're on, it's fake. It's real. It's not real.
We're on Earth too.
Yep. You're actually on the Truman Show.
Yeah.
You ever think about that this might be like a Truman Show type of situation?
There has been some instances where I'm kind of just like, dude, is this for real? Like,
right. Like that can't be real. Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, there's been stuff that I've encountered and stuff that I've, investigated where I just actually just took a second guess at it and just kind of like, you know what? I mean, this doesn't seem like real. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why we have the name Investigators. We gotta do our best and investigate what the possibilities are. So
right.
We actually find another Earth too, then shit.
Yeah. I feel like we're getting pretty close. I mean, the stuff that they keep, it seems like every day they're coming out with new scientific findings.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just going to be like next week, Alien Girl's going to be like, okay, they did it. We figured it out. We got an Earth too.
Yeah. I mean, slowly they're coming out with just like more evidence on, alien spacecraft and stuff coming in and out of the moon, stuff coming in and out of the ocean. I always thought they were in the ocean in the first place, so that was just me. But, I mean, slowly things, new animals are being discovered, and it's just like, what in the hell? We got a lot of. And then on top of that, there's, you want to get onto a topic of that, but the violence that's going on. I mean, they're just like a big shift in everything. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm a storm chaser as well, of 7 years, so even for me, seeing how the whole climate is just changing and where Tornado Alley used to be is completely different. I mean, it's just like where you'll have tornadoes where there was never tornadoes. It was just like, what in the world? There's even winter tornadoes. I didn't even know about that. So
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was like, what in the hell? So I mean, there's just like so many things are just changing. It's just like, okay, what are we going into next? What's the next thing? So
you're a storm chaser too?
Yeah.
We haven't had a storm chaser on here before, I don't think.
A lot of people that are into UFOs and paranormal aliens. A lot of people are also into tornadoes and storms.
Yeah, it's funny because
cool.
I always kind of bring it up, so when I was into the paranormal, it wasn't a really thing to talk about, like I said before, so it was just taboo. But then when I actually started doing storm chasing, it wasn't popular until it actually hit TV. So when it hit mainstream TV, you see this explosion of like storm chasers coming out of the woodwork. People are just want the thrill of it. So then same thing with the paranormal. When it became something popular and mainstream, you saw, all these teams, all these people just come out of the woodwork now because it's more comfortable. People are open to talk to it about it more, So, it's, for me, it's always been a passion of mine, and probably a little bit more than that, even with like the paranormal has always been like a way of life, so to speak, because growing up into it, but storm chasing, to do that, to just be under, a rotation when a tornado is fixing to start, and you're literally sitting there watching it, and just the adrenaline that you get from it, it's just like, man, it's like no other feeling in the world, but man, you gotta be careful because you don't want it.
We just had a tornado come through here in Michigan. I'd say 2 hours north of here, 2.5 hours north of here. Mm-hmm. And the pictures I saw from it were like, it doesn't look like Michigan. There's like trucks, full-size 1-ton trucks flipped over on their roofs, and like whole building is completely gone. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, if you get a strong enough one, they'll flip those things up where like it's just like a little toy truck.
It's crazy.
It is. As long as I've been storm chasing, there's only been like one time where I actually seen what a tornado can actually do to somebody, who's not prepared. And our car got hit a couple of times during that storm chase, but once we found when we were chasing it, we found a way to get through, and like we saw like the whole tornado just how it dug its path in, and all the trees and everything were falling apart, and there was a tree that was on top of a car, so right away we did like a search and rescue, and as soon as we hit that, we were hearing people's voices up towards the mountain, and you could hear them screaming for help. So we went up there and did a search and rescue, and we were just cutting through trees and everything out, trying to find people, because you couldn't find the houses because they were torn down. Everything was just demolished. By the time I got to the top of the hill, I ran into one of the first guys that were there, and he's like, I need help here. So I went to him, and he was literally standing next to a person who just, passed away from the tornado. Man. And, me, who've never really seen that kind of destruction, what it can do, especially to, a human body. I was just like, oh, wow. That was very, very eye opening. And, ever since that day, I don't really, play with them as much as like I used to. And, I was trying to get super close and get the photos. And now I just like fully have full respect for it. So like, I'm just like, I'll stay back, get my photos.
Yeah.
If I have to, I'll chase it, to do some reporting. But other than that, I just, I try.
Can you predict the path of a tornado at all? Or once it's, can it just change directions at any time?
If you have the, I think if you have the good equipment, like some of these professional storm chasers do, more than likely you can. Usually when I chase, I just have like my radar system and just my gut feeling, and I take off, so. Right. There's been a couple of close calls, before already within our area. I don't know if you heard about Texas, where they had that Austin tornado and all that other stuff. So I chased those two. When they were coming out of Austin, I got hit by one of those just on the outside, winds. My car was, it was my first time I took my girlfriend with me, and I was literally on the back roads.
Could be fine.
She's from Indiana, so she was like scared of tornadoes. So I'm trying to get out of the path, and this thing is probably, when they reported it was probably like almost half a mile, maybe a mile wide.
Oh my God.
And we're catching the outside winds, and you can see the telephone poles and everything just like swaying. And I'm sitting there not trying to panic because I already know the signatures of a tornado. And I'm like, shoot, I need to get out of here. And the whole time the car is just like swerving because it's getting dragged closer to the tornado.
Whoa.
So I'm like literally trying not to panic. She's sitting right next to me, and I got to drive in this. So like, it was just like, okay, I need to be mindful when she's with me, because I didn't want to scare her like that. But yeah, you don't watch it, you get hit.
Yeah, Enzo says where I live, I don't chase them; they come to me. Yeah, he's in Kansas.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can't. They just had a couple of some last week, I believe.
I feel like every house in Kansas is just a basement.
Yeah.
And there's no standing structures. Everybody just lives underground.
I would just like have a door on my property, and you see all the house in the underground.
Yeah.
A bunker, I'll have bunker house.
That would be crazy where a tornado just goes right through your property and it just if you were completely underground, it just wouldn't even phase you. It'd be awesome. All your lawn ornaments would be gone though.
No.
Everybody in the chat room is talking about the movie Twister. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
You haven't seen that one either?
I have seen that one. Yep. Isn't that surprising?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, John, I haven't seen like any movie. Like I haven't seen like Harry Potter. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen all the major ones that everybody.
Shame.
I have seen Star Wars though.
Shame. Shame.
I mean, I just recently watched all the Harry Potter, so yeah.
Well, you're ahead of me. I gotta catch up.
I mean, it's like they came out around the same time when I was like 17, 18. So I had other things to do besides that, So I was just like, I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna fix my lowrider. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. So it was just I had other things.
I should have watched them all during the pandemic. That'd have been perfect timing.
What kind of car did you have, Spooky Boy? What kind of car did you have?
I had an 86 Buick Regal. It was blue diamond tuck interior with mirrors also inside that thing. So yeah. I had like I think it was like 180 spoke Luxor rims. So nice. Got married and then I had to sell that thing.
Oh yeah, I had 264s.
Oh man,
264 Impalas, and I also had a Buick Regal one time.
Oh nice.
Those are nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was good.
How come you had two of them, Spooky?
My first car was kind of like a gift from my dad, and then the second one because I got rid of the first one because I was having some problems with it, and another guy wanted it, so I sold it, and then the second one was the dude that was from TJ, and it was so nice and clean. It had the sweetest body, interior was sick. And I ended up buying it from him, and I drove it around with Tijuana license plates for like a year and a half.
3-wheel motion on there.
Yeah, I had chrome hydraulic pumps that I was going to put in it, and I never got the nerve to cut the body. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave it all stock.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I'm learning something here. I didn't know that you were into cars, man. That's awesome.
Oh, this is SoCal living, man.
Jeez.
Had the little monitos, the little homie monitos, the little figures,
yeah.
The little homies.
You know it.
What are those?
Oh, come on.
I'm out of the loop, man.
Chad, where you been, man?
I'm just gonna let you guys have a podcast.
Wait, better question is, how did you get here?
How did you get here? No, really. How in the YouTube algorithm?
Did you find yourself?
Alien girl.
Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my drink.
Okay. Speaking of Alien Girl, today she announced that she put up our appearance on her show from the weekend on our official podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, like
everyone,
on a real
make sure
podcast.
You follow Alien Girl 111. Follow Chad Smith Podcast on now all streaming podcast services, including Spotify.
Yep, we are now an official episode on the Alien. I think we're episode number 2 on Alien Girl's official podcast platforms.
Wicked.
So that's pretty cool. And she named it something cool. It's like Peace and Ufology or something like that.
Yes.
So there you go. That's all you need to know. Just go over there and listen to it 10 times each and let us know what you think.
10 times each.
Oh, yeah. Jamie's in the chat. What's up, Jamie? From that one time I was abducted by aliens. Who just recently surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations.
Yeah. I was on that show. We had a little party. It was fun.
Yeah, I watched it last night because I didn't watch the whole thing the day that it came out. So last night I just watched it from start to finish. I was jealous. Everybody was on there except me.
That's what happens when you guys go do Amy's show without me.
Oh. That's what happens when you record a podcast and I'm not involved. Mm-hmm. Oh man,
Oh, Brondorf has a question.
Brondorf has a question. Has Spooky
Ch-
Boy ever
Chad Smith, has
investigated?
Spooky Boy... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, investigated in Mexico.
No, I want to, but I mean, I've heard there's so many horror stories trying to go over there right now. But I mean, I have a cousin who goes there every, I think twice in a year. So the next time that she goes over there, I'm going to try to see if there's. I mean, first you gotta. I don't even know where to begin in Mexico. So I have to do my, my research and stuff like that. Just trying to figure out where to go. But,
How far are you from the border?
Probably like 9 hours, something like that.
Oh, okay. You're a little bit of ways.
Yeah, I'm in central Texas, so like
Oh, okay.
it's either 6 hours to go towards Oklahoma or 9 hours now towards to Mexico, and then I think it's another 7 hours to hit New Mexico. So I'm like right dead center.
How far are you from Taylor, Texas, home of UFO Garage?
32 minutes.
32 minutes.
Well, that's not bad.
Man, I'm jealous now. You get to hang out with Ben and Joe.
Jojo.
Jojo Bone. Got a lot of friends down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Flavia.
In Flavia.
Yeah,
Just
there's
watch
a
your backside.
lot of people that in the paranormal area that I really do not know.
Okay.
So I don't get on very much social media and try to network. That's why I do a lot of podcasting. That's why I'm trying to steadily go in. But because I don't do a lot of these public tours and stuff like that, where you pay in to go investigate, as far as like a celebrity would go into or whatever,
yeah.
you just go in, so they network like that. I really don't do that because I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not going to get any evidence. I'm not going to get any of that stuff that I want to go for. So I kind of just tend to stay with myself, and I'll go rent it out with myself and let me do my own thing, do my photography, do whatever I need to do, and call it a day. And then if I jump on a podcast, and cool. If I meet this other person from another team, then cool. So I'm always the lone wolf, so to speak. So
I'll have to get you booked over on UFO Garage with Ben and Joe if you haven't.
Yep.
Have you heard their show before?
I have not.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're only a half hour away from them, so that'd be cool if you guys linked up.
Yeah.
They did a show that who was on? I think Terry Lovelace, when they did the one that was live in the bar, Chad.
Yep. Yeah,
that would have been a good one to go see, John. And you're close enough; you could actually.
Yeah, they did a live show at the Black Sparrow.
Fun, dude.
Because I actually lived in Taylor for about 2 years or something like that. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But I was now I'm trying to find stuff to investigate in Taylor. So I know there's stuff in Taylor. It's just who knows where to go, but it's
Chad, what if he'd have said, like, I used to live in Taylor, but I had this horrible neighbor named Joe.
Yeah, his name was Joe. He was a
He was always
landscaper.
throwing his empty wine bottles over the fence.
Cerveza is all over the front lawn.
Never.
I think that place was called the Black Sparrow. Or no, Black Sparrow Music Parlor. Have you heard of that before?
I think I have.
It's right downtown. It says it's in Taylor, Texas. Right downtown Taylor on 2nd Street. It's right on 2nd Street.
Yeah, I used to live close to there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's across from...
It's near that barbecue area, that barbecue place.
Yep, the Texas Beer Company, right across the street from that.
Yup, I know where it is.
Yeah, so they did a live show there. Was it last year? I think it was last year.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool if you guys linked up. That'd be awesome. I have to get you scheduled over on their show sometime.
Their show's fun. They're really good.
They're more fun than we are.
Yeah, they filmed Transformers there, I believe, in Taylor.
They did?
Yeah, the one with Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg.
Man, that's ironic. It's such a small world. They filmed part of Transformers here where I live.
Yeah. And then most of Fear the Walking Dead is filmed in Bartlett, which is like right between me and Taylor.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of, and the movie that I just got through working on. Oh my gosh, the Sawyer massacre was actually filmed a lot around Taylor, Bartlett, Holland. So I mean, it was all these little towns are getting filmed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like cities or states or something like that. They give like tax breaks for film companies in certain areas. So I think that's why they were doing it over here in Michigan, because Michigan was like, "Come on over, you can shoot movies here tax free."
I gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out what's haunted in Taylor that you could do some investigating on.
Yeah, I had to figure out. I mean, like I said, I've been around when I lived there, so I heard stories and stuff like that, but just never got pointed in the right direction on what building it was or what back road it was that they seen stuff. So, you know, I mean, I've heard of a lot of local legend stuff, but you know, it's just okay. I want to figure out if it's true or not before I go and like the fool start trying to get into these houses.
So you're definitely more interested in like the ghosts and paranormal stuff like that than instead of UFOs and stuff. In the
because
sky?
I just have more knowledge on the paranormal side. You know, I haven't really dipped my toes and try to go all the way in as far as like ufology and stuff like that, or even cryptids. You know, of course, you know, we have like La Chusa, we have like, you know, things of that nature that I want to get into more. You know, but it's also doing research, you know, because if you're doing with something like with La Llorona, you know, there's like an expansive area that where she's like been seen and stuff like that. So you kind of have to go and really do your research on like, where do I actually want to put my cameras at, and then actually investigate that area, you know, because myself, I will literally go down to that river and just like straight up call her out. You know, that's just, that's just me. Yeah, I've done it before, you know, and I've heard some crazy stuff, but at that time I didn't have any night vision. I was just out there, just randomly going to go out to this little stream out there and just see what happens.
Just experience whatever happens.
Have you ever heard of the place in Mexico called the Zone of Silence? That's how they say it in English.
No, I want to say yes.
Yeah, it's supposedly like the Bermuda Triangle, because down there no electronic equipment will work, and it's really there's so many like UFO sightings and whole bunch of like crazy paranormal stuff that people report.
There's also a place like that, and I believe it's like in either in Nevada or Utah, that there's a place that's like in a triangle where nothing works at all. It's just, you know, you take your cell phones out there, they crash or whatever it is.
Kind of like a Skinwalker Ranch area.
Yeah, something like that. You know, so you know, I didn't know Mexico had one, but I mean, the silence. I'm gonna.
The place in Mexico is down there in Durango.
Oh shit.
Durango, Mexico.
yeah, I know where that is.
Yep.
God dang. She sent me on a 24-hour trip.
Yeah, but even Ancient Aliens one time did a report on it, and I know that it's really popular in the circles of people looking for paranormal places.
Yeah. I would just man, it's just too. I mean, I don't know, it's just too scary right now to take a trip over there right now and you get kidnapped and all this other stuff.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
That's like the back of my mind is like, yeah, I'm not worried about the paranormal stuff or anything like that. I'm worried about these dudes who
just making it back.
Yeah, just making it back. You know, because they see all the equipment, they'll see the cameras and all that other stuff, and hey, what do you got cameras for and all those other things. So, you know, I just if I was to go, like I said, probably with my cousin, because her husband and her family is from Mexico, so they have a better, you know, navigation and know who to go and know who to talk to than me just going out there and just be like, yeah, I'm just looking for ghosts, you know, so just put me in that direction.
You just go. If they start asking you questions like that, you just pull out your gun and shoot it. Bang! That's why I got the cameras.
That wouldn't be a good idea.
You just gotta. You're in Mexico, man.
If I do that, people are gonna be pretty soon hunting me down. Investigations.
Yeah.
This is where John died, so we're gonna investigate. Put the REM pods down right here.
A lot of people think it's like the Wild Wild West there till they get there and see those policia. Those guys don't mess around. Those are the guys that pull you over and they're like, "You were going too fast," and then you're waiting for a ticket and they're waiting for you to give them money. You're not
That's
getting
why I
a
don't
ticket.
want to go.
That's
That's
why
why I don't want to
yeah.
go by myself. I'll go with my cousin.
If you don't, and then if they see the cameras, that's the ones you got to worry about. Then that's an expensive ticket.
Oh man.
The more you got, the more you're gonna pay.
Oh man. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. You know, you're going down there to have a good time and just have some fun doing some investigating. You don't want to have to run into all that trouble.
That's
Yeah.
the little places though, Chad. Like Mexico City, I bet it's not like that in the city. You know, the city's nice there. Like it's not like the little towns.
Yeah, there's like when I was shooting for an Austin football league, we had a couple of on our calendar. We had a couple of games that were in Mexico City, and they had a map of Mexico, and pretty much they said everything that's in the red, we do not go. Everything that's in blue, that's where we're safe. And like literally the entire freaking country was all in red except for like 2 blue dots. And I was like, we can't go anywhere except for those 2 blue dots. They're like,
Yeah,
we're not safe. We're not safe in anywhere of these spots. Just stay right here.
Just don't move.
That makes it scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, I don't know about that.
It takes the fun out of it. You're supposed to be scared of the ghosts, not actual alive humans.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm more scared of people than I am with ghosts. So, you know, I have a couple of stories with just crazy people in general that I had to deal with, you know, but
No, I hear that a lot actually.
yeah, there was one case that I investigated. Like, dude's house was completely empty. No sofas, couple of chairs, maybe a table, and a bed where he slept. But everything, all the kitchen drawers, restroom drawers, were all full of knives. Every single drawer in the house was full of knives.
What?
And I'm not talking about like little small ones. They were like little jagged ones, machetes, things that look like swords. I was like, what in the world is this dude going to do with all these? So,
Yeah, you only got 2 hands.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know, I know there's like knife collectors, but that was just like way beyond. I didn't know.
Like I'm a knife collector, but I have like stands that they go on and they're presented like in a case. I wouldn't just throw 500 of them in a drawer and throw another 500 in another drawer and another drawer. And
yeah, some of these
kind
were
of
like
strange.
old, maybe they had some old blood on them or whatever it was, but I was just like, yeah.
It's a strange way to collect knives.
Yep. Then there was another case that I got a gun pulled out on me because I wasn't agreeing with the dude who was saying that he had a demon in his house, and I wasn't agreeing with him. And
What?
he just got upset about it, and he put it right in my face. It was just like, you tell me that there's a demon in here, and I was like, okay,
It's you, dog.
Yeah, dude, you're the demon. Ding, 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 ding. Found him.
We calmed him down and talked him down off the ledge, so to speak. So.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
What'd you tell him? Even if there is a demon in here, at least the demon didn't pull a gun on me, dude.
Right. Even if there is a demon in here, you're still more dangerous than he is.
Yeah, so I mean, I had cases like that. I had cases where it's just been, you know, people trying to fight with me, and you know, even when we do like, you know, praying over somebody, you know, there's a small possession that's involved. You know, there's always the risk of somebody either getting hurt or somebody just trying to fight. You know, it's, you know, they don't have any control of what's going on once that process starts, you know. So I've always have like my camera on, so that way I'm videoing just in case something happens, that there's no proof of me doing anything wrong. And, you know, if they do something wrong, then they can see it, you know, it's just all for safety purposes, you know. Usually when it's like that, you know, I try to get at least one of their friends or one of their family members to, you know, if it calls for it, to hold them down, you know, then they can hold them down, you know. But other than that, you know, I mean, I'm a pretty heavy guy, you know, so I can try to do it, but when I'm concentrating and trying to do what I'm doing and they're over there trying to swing and buck me off and all this other stuff, you know, it gets a little intense after that, you know.
Takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, I've seen and done, so you know, it doesn't really bother me so much. I just I already know the signatures and what's going to happen, you know. So yeah, the precursor, so to speak.
You're the type of person I would definitely want to go on investigations with, instead of somebody that also gets afraid because
Mhm.
I would just look to you to like, okay, if you're not freaking out, I shouldn't be freaking out. Whereas like if I went on an investigation with my sister or my cousin Leslie or something, we'd both be screaming and running out of the place just as fast. So
Yeah.
yeah, it seems
There
like
was like that let me tell you that, because like once you said that, kind of brought me a story that I have. That one case I was telling you about with all the knives. So what happened towards the end is like I had to do a minor rite of exorcism on that guy. So it caused me and him to just like kind of wrestle around the room a little bit, because I didn't have anybody there to hold him down, and then he was trying to attack me, so we ended up just kind of rolling around a little bit because he was trying to punch and all this other stuff. But the story before that is what came during the day, which led up to those events. So like the first story that happened was like my mom and my daughter went to the grocery store, and while my daughter was inside the store shopping, my mom was sitting in the car. And when she was sitting in the car, she out of nowhere, somebody randomly knocked 3 times on her side. And she was just like, what in the world? What was that? She looked around the car, didn't see nobody. Nobody was out there. She just didn't pay no mind to it. Okay, whatever. A few hours later, my sister is at her house, and she's probably like a good 10 miles away from us. And she went outside. She was inside, went outside to go get her purse. So before she was going to walk outside, her son, who was probably, I think he was like 5 or 6 at the time, goes to her and asks her, Mom, I need for you to pray over me. I need for you to pray over me. And she was just like, that's random. I'll do it when I come back. She's like, no, Mom. I need for you to pray over me right now. So she's like, okay. And, she did the sign of the cross and stuff like that, and then went outside. So as soon as she goes outside, she opens up her door, and then out of nowhere, she hears my dad's voice, or a male's voice, call her name. But it's the name that she goes by on her birth certificate, that nobody knows her name.
Whoa.
Besides us. So like she was like, she heard it and she was just like, oh hell no. So she just went beeline back and went back into the house, and she was just like terrified. She didn't want to go back outside anymore.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, and then an hour after that, so I haven't got the call yet, so I'm still just at the house. So my niece, who lives in the trailer right next to me, she gets off of work, and as soon as she goes and opens up she puts the key inside her door, and as soon as she turns it and gets ready to turn it, she hears a voice on the inside. Now keep in mind, she's single. It's a small little trailer house. So she opens the door and she hears a voice from the inside says, be careful. And she was just like, what the hell? So she opens the door, looks inside. There's nobody inside. Then 30 minutes later, I get a phone call like, hey, we need you over here. There's a bad case and we need you to come. I'm like, okay, cool. I get over there, do the walkthrough, and I'm sitting there with the family doing the interview. Finally get done. I throw myself into the walk-in closet and I turn off all the lights, and I'm sitting there against the wall. And then out of nowhere, I see like this black blob that comes out of the wall, and I'm seeing it, and I'm like, it's darker than dark. So I'm just like, what in the world? And it looks like a big blob of like a shadow. Then it darts off to the left, to my left. And then about 30 seconds later, I see this black hand with long fingernails come across my face, and it zips off. And then I'm like, oh shit. So I get up, and then I'm starting to take pictures because I'm not scared yet. I'm just like, I'm taking pictures. And I finally get done with that, and I'm looking and reviewing. I didn't get anything. I was like, crap. Finally go back, and then I'm talking to the wife at the time. So the day before, me and my girlfriend had an argument. My ex-girlfriend had an argument. And then I'm interviewing the wife of this guy who I'm going to do a minor rite on. And it literally was word for word everything that my girlfriend had told me. Literally, she was telling me about her situation, about what she thinks. It was like she was actually listening to our conversation the day before and was like, okay, I'm going to say all this to him, literally word for word. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what in the hell? So then I messaged my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, dude, you're not going to believe this. This is crazy. So get done with her, and I take her to the room. And then around that time, her husband was getting like chest pains. And he was like breathing heavy. He didn't know what to do. And I was like, you know what? It's time. I need to go put you in this other room real quick. So I took him to the room, and then as soon as I started praying over him, like he looked at me and his eyes rolled back like white, and then his fingers started getting all crazy, and then his thumb right here would go all the way down to his forearm, and he was like trying to buck with me and everything like that, and throwing punches, and it was like a big thing. But it was like there was like a whole event that just kind of led up to that little the exorcism, the minor rite, so there's like things like that happen to me, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll roll with it. So it's
Enzo said, fall back to safe position, call in the airstrike.
Yeah, the problem was I had two other investigators with me because it was their case, and then all of a sudden I was left alone inside that room.
That's crazy.
There was nobody else in there, so
run.
I went and did it. Did like where we have our drag races. These drag races right here. We just had them.
Eagle Field.
Eagle Field. Yeah, it's an old army base. And they have barracks and everything on there. The old barracks are fallen down barracks. They're all cleaned out now, but there's nothing in them. But I went walking through at like midnight or 1 or whenever it was, late. One of the events we had out there, I think it was one of our Christmas parties or something.
Yeah.
And I heard I did the whole barrack, and then towards the end, I heard one thing, something. Well, it was loud. Something smacked the wall behind me, and that was it for me. I was so scared, dude. I turned around and I can't even walk into the room because I walked out of this big room and I'm looking at the toilets. And I'm saying, like I got to pee or something like that. It makes me got to pee. And then I hear this boom, like this quack or something. And I just freeze. I have a gun and everything that's on my side. And I'm terrified to walk back.
Oh, wow.
I was pretty much done. There's a video. Chad, you have it on here? Huh?
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, there's the person who just made a comment who said like something about the Undertaker. So to end that story that I was telling you about, like, if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, I finally pinned this guy down, and I had him in a crucifix. So I had one arm between my legs, and I had his other arm underneath my armpit. So I had him down. So at the whole time, this dude, I'm like, at the time, I'm probably like 215 or something like that. This dude was standing at a good 5'3", maybe 80 something pounds, something like that.
Oh,
so this dude is light. Okay, and I had a hard time just wrestling with him. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, but of course, when you're dealing with somebody like that, they have like more heightened strength or whatever it is. So like, I had him in this crucifix, and I'm saying a prayer. So I finally get the attention of the other investigators. They come into the room and they're like, "Oh shit, this is going on, like this is going down." And I'm like, "Hey, I need my holy water. Get my holy water." So they get the holy water to me, and I put the sign across him in his head, and he just starts shaking like, "Argh!" And then the other investigator said she heard like 3 voices come out of this guy's mouth, and she was just like all in disbelief. So the Undertaker part comes here. So then as I'm saying a prayer, and he starts bad-mouthing me like, "Fuck you," and all this other stuff. I can't even know if I can say that or not.
Yeah, you can.
But as soon as he said that, I was like, "You keep on at it. I'm going to squirt this holy water into your mouth." And he just said, "F you again." And I went, and I squirted all of it into his mouth. And you just heard him go, "Ah!" And then this dude who's 5'3", probably like 80 something pounds, literally with me on him, sits up like the Undertaker. This is like just stone cold, whoop, just like that. And I was like, "Oh shit." So like, as soon as that happens, he would just like, I don't know, just screaming again. And then finally he just walked backwards, and then when he hit the wall, it was like he came out of it, and he was just like, "What happened?" Like he says that, and then my hair's all messed up, my shirt's all turned on sideways like that, and I was just like, "Nothing, man, nothing happened."
That was one hell of an exorcism. Jesus. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. That's very crazy. I've never heard of an exorcism going that way. This is gonna be a wild ride.
They usually don't. I mean, there's some that do have attachments that are so severe that they'll fight with you.
That's crazy.
And try to get them off, but Well, that's like my first one that I ever had to deal with, like that dealt with like that. But that was like a one-on-one. It wasn't even supposed to go that way, but it did. But
Yeah.
oh well.
I found
But
it,
we
Sonny.
You found it?
Yep. So this is Sonny walking through the barracks.
This is a shower room.
The old showers.
Oh, I guess you can hear it.
Right there, that noise right
That's
there.
Spooky. Just
No, that's not it.
That wasn't?
No, that's me. That's me.
Wow, that's spooky.
Oh, I can hear the noises
Chairs
between me
sitting
and
in
what
here.
that was.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Nope.
Is this the wrong video then?
Man, now
Nope.
I really gotta pee.
No, I really gotta
Hey.
pee.
Right here when I turn this corner.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. Nope.
It was right there.
Oh
That.
no.
Yeah, that's in a different room. You can hear it in the other room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Nope.
Nope.
Oh hell no. Something just. Man.
Now I'm trapped in here.
Yep.
That is the funniest commentary.
Gotta pee.
Oh, I could have sworn I just saw something move in front of the camera.
Well, now
Don't
I
say
really,
that.
Right there.
well, now I really,
Boom.
That's dust.
now I really,
Okay, good.
well, now I really gotta pee.
Are you? It sure does look like there's like
Yeah,
a.
those little dust things. Those are that's dust.
Okay.
Well, now I really gotta pee.
Now I really gotta pee.
There's one that I have.
Just move,
I don't think it's
so-
on my TikTok, but it's on my
we just
YouTube.
walked through there, there's
It's
nothing
called
in
like
there.
the scariest video.
Oh.
And yeah, that one's like 5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't even supposed to do an investigation. We were at a place called the Nazareth Hospital in Mineral Wells, and I was solely there to do more photos for the venue and stuff like that, and the model photography for the promotions. And then the owner was just like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "You want to investigate?" And I'm like, "I don't got anything but my recorder and my camera, and my camera doesn't even do night vision. It's just a straight up professional, camera."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "That's okay. We're just gonna mess around." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So took advantage of it. It kind of rained that afternoon before we started, and then we started going into the 5th floor. Now the 5th floor for Mineral Wells, that Nazareth Hospital, that is like the very active place. That's like the active floor for me. There's like some crazy energy in there and dark energy that's in there. So it was raining, and there was puddles all over the place. And you could see where somebody with Adidas shoe would step in it, and they'll see Adidas markers everywhere. So when we first started, I started on the left side of the hall, and I started asking for this thing to come out. I want to see all this other stuff. And so as I'm starting to ask questions, I hear like a footstep literally hit the side of my foot, and it sounded like when you're barefooted and you hit a puddle of water, and it sounds has a distinct sound.
Yeah.
So, and when it hit the floor right next to me, I felt the splash, and we were in complete darkness, and I'm like, I felt the splash and I heard the sound, and I was like, oh shit, literally something's here.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any cameras or anything like that, so I was just like, dang it, man, whatever it was here, I missed it. So okay, I caught that. Whatever. We started walking down the hallway towards the right side, which we call its lair. So we went over there. I put a recorder inside the doorway before actual room, and we were in the room where the lair is so called, where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So if you imagine, if you're seeing a big square, we had Shauna and one of her friends on the left hand side, and then her husband was on the doorway, and then I was back against the wall, across from Shauna. So we're all sitting there doing an EVP session. We go back and take a review of what I caught, on doing like a live review, and you can hear some voices from the other hallway. Hear them say, "They're there. Let's go." And I was like, what in the world? So I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome that we caught that. So went back into there. We turned up all the lights again. So we're just literally sitting there. And then I started I'm doing another EVP session. And then Shauna, who's in the left-hand side corner, she said that she was feeling like water, and then the other guy was sitting next to her was feeling water droplets on top of her head and all this other stuff. And I was like, look, when we came in here, we checked it. There was no puddles on that side, so I don't think there's water dropping on top of you. Maybe it's like a spider web or something like that. And she was like, no, it feels like there's water. And I was like, nah, there's no water. So you can hear the whole discussion, and then finally we turn on the flashlight, and then as we look down, there's like massive footprints that are like look like claws all over the floor, and they're single-footed. So it's like 1 foot here, and all the toes are all curled. You can see the toenails, all that other stuff. And they're all around us. They're all around us.
And how big are they?
Probably about size 10 on up.
Oh,
you know, so then there was like super wide. There were some on there that probably looked like Shaq's foot. You know, they're just like, they're super huge.
Yeah.
We got all that recorded, including the EVPs, you know, so that right there in particular is something like, I just don't know what the hell was around us that day. You know, it was like super weird, you know, but
interesting.
It is, but
I can't find the one that's like, I found one that's 2 minutes long. This one here. Mineral Well.
Oh, it's on my YouTube.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can find it on there. Do you remember how long ago it was? Well, I can.
If you scroll down, it's the only one that says scariest video ever or something like that.
Okay.
It's like 5 minutes or something like that. Can't remember.
Let's see. Paranormal podcast. Here, I'll just share the screen so you can help me.
Okay.
Help me look for it here. So this was the top. Scariest.
Yeah, it says scariest video. I know, because like,
right here, I think. Scariest ghost video, Nazareth Hospital.
Yep. Yeah, but I just heard the music, so that's what it is.
Oh, that's weird. It didn't. I guess I have the wrong window shared. Share.
Huh? I feel like there's something on the right side of me over here in this corner. Okay. Well, there's a camera on me, so.
So is this right after you guys walked in?
Yeah, so this is right before the footsteps. So you can hear the breathing, you can hear the EVPs, the voices.
I love the editing too. That's sweet.
Come on.
Something's dripping.
No,
Something keeps dripping on me.
that was like, okay, I don't have hair, but it feels like something's pulling my hair.
And something drips. I think something's dripping.
There's no water.
No, I keep getting water on me. I've had it since we stand here.
I know, but there's no water. I know.
Yeah, well, I got water.
Oh, that's weird.
Standing there and
Yeah, I've been wiping water off since I've
There's a wet spot in my hand.
No, I seriously had water on me. I've had water on. I kept getting water dripped on me.
Whoa.
So I was just saying it was sealing was dripping.
Okay, so somebody explain to me, why is there fucking toes right there? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been noticing those coming down the hall.
Yeah,
Yeah, in a little bit you'll see the video.
I just had.
What's that?
So in a little bit you'll see the video.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking toes, yeah.
Big ass foot. That is crazy.
I'm wet.
I told you there was something on the right side of me.
See? And I'm wet. My shoulder's wet. Something stepped on me, like there was water all over my shoulder.
Like, there's a straight path. Okay, there's some toes here too.
Just the way their voices are echoing in that room, it just sounds like a creepy room.
Yeah.
Right here by me.
Big empty room.
That's a big ass foot.
It's a big
That's a big ass foot.
That's like a size fucking 18 or some shit. I can't the whole thing.
Sasquatch. Holy shit, that is big.
So those are our footprints. So we had boots on and stuff like that, so people can see that what we had on.
Yeah. Discovered footprints from around us.
Now, no, you'll see like the toes right there.
Oh, weird. What the hell? Oh, yeah, you can see that pretty clear.
Yeah. So, and those are just stills. So the next one would be video, so you can see the actual video.
This video was taken immediately as we saw the footprints.
So we all got shoes. We got shoes.
You guys are showing your shoes. That's awesome. And then what are these?
So I was standing right there in that corner where that one's at. So I was literally right there. It was facing me.
Whoa. And that's just all wet spots?
Yeah, just wet footprint.
That's so weird.
That big toe.
And there's like there's no puddles of water.
Yeah.
Or you said there is puddles of water?
Yeah, in the hallway, but to go inside there, your feet would have to be like super wet already.
Yeah.
There's like four toes on that one.
Strange. Oh wow. The one that you showed earlier in the video, it looked like a Bigfoot. I mean, the same type of Sasquatch footprints that we've seen before.
Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the size of that thing. I mean,
Right. Yeah, like it looks a lot like the castings that they take when they do Sasquatch footprint castings.
yeah. So to my knowledge, as far as me, I mean, I'm like the only one that's ever captured that type of stuff. I mean, just look at that one right there. But
yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, you can clearly see four toes. And I can see like if that was the only one you found, but there's multiple ones that have 4 toes all over the place.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah. So whatever was there that night did not want us there at all, or he was just trying to be intimidating. But literally, like it's facing that corner right where I was standing. So like.
Oh man. Oh, that's a cool picture too.
Yeah, my friend Jackie did that one for me.
Man, that place looks super creepy.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, nobody can get into it now. But man, it used to be one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, that's why these people need to get out there. And when somebody has an idea like, hey, I should probably explore that place because it's abandoned and going to get tore down. Like when you have a thought like that, just act on it. Just go and do it because you never know when you might not be able to access it anymore. Or they tear the building down or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, especially in my area now where there's a lot of old buildings being bought, you know, in the Central Texas area, they're demolishing all these old buildings that are, you know, just historical, and they're putting parking lots there or new chicken places coming up. So that would be okay with it if it was a taqueria or something like that. But now I don't want no more chicken.
That's right. This place looks cool too. This old church.
Yeah, in Kansas.
To the haunted 1904.
1904.
Yeah, that's in Kansas.
Oh, this is over where in the state Enzo's living in.
Mm-hmm. I believe he sold that church already, but supposedly there was like an exorcism that happened inside that church.
Uh-huh.
I have a few photos from there as well, from that place, that there was like some kind of white mist that formed right in the area of the stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's on there, but it was just something to show.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to put this link in the chat one more time. I know Sam's been sharing it a lot. I appreciate you guys sharing out his link. I'm going to drop it one more time in the chat here. If you guys could just go over there and hit subscribe and check out a couple of his videos. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Sam, thank you so much for all the links you've been dropping today. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. Yeah, this is just like a lot of the stuff, but, you know, usually when I go to the places, you know, it's usually just for photography. Which is like my first and only passion, you know, that I've been with it for like almost 20 plus years, you know, so I've been doing it for a long time. You know, I went into like landscape photography, working for a postcard company, to from Oregon to Texas, where there was no landscapes and no oceans really, like with
Yeah.
big mountains or anything like that. And then started shooting like concerts. You know, I shot for like Snoop Dogg, Vanilla Ice, Warren G,
What?
ZZ Top. Yeah, I shot for all of them. You know, then
You
from
were
there I
pro-
went to
So like a
just
professional videographer that toured with them?
photographer.
Oh, just photographer? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so like I shot with Bone Thugs.
That's awesome.
You know, and then from there I shot for UFC, and then Golden Boy, and then you know now I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start doing my own thing, and then that's when I went into the whole paranormal stuff. You know, but
Oh man, you've probably got so many stories.
yeah, I got a lot.
Jeez.
I only you know scraped off the surface, you know, from what we spoke to today, you know, but there's just so many out there that I actually have and experienced and stuff like that, even when I was a kid, you know. But the reason why I actually stopped doing paranormal for a while there, but when I actually started doing the urban exploring, when I go back and edit my videos, I would hear voices on the audio of all the videos I shot, and then there was like some anomalies on there, and some of them on my photos, and that's what kind of dragged me back into the paranormal.
Yeah.
And so then when I got with this other team, I literally told them, okay, you know what? From here on out, we're gonna be handling nothing but demonic cases, and boom, you know, it's been like that for a while now. And then you know, I started my own team, and now my team is, you know, I'm trying to mold them specifically just for dark cases. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, you know, but it needs to be done. You know, not too many people know really. I mean, like I said, there's like we were talking about how it's more like a hobby and people want to go out there because of thrills and stuff like that.
Right.
But most of the cases, there's some people that really just need help. So you really have to be strong in whatever else you believe in and whatever you believe in. So that way you're able to take on whatever their demons are, you know. So there's not too many people that know the darker side of the paranormal, you know, like right now, like the witch thing is like so popular, you know, with the stones and stuff like that. But there's also the aspect of the other stuff that you don't talk about, you know, and that's the stuff that we deal with, you know. So
yeah, the darker side of it.
Yeah, so like on August 13th, I'm gonna have a lecture pretty much explaining and talking about the whole darker stuff of the paranormal. You know, what happens, their possession, the oppression, the infestation, all that other stuff. Things that people are not seeing, and where the originality of everything came from. You know, I'm going to be speaking about on August 13th. I'm going to have two of my friends there who are exorcist priests. So I'm going to have them talking and doing a lecture as well there with me, and a couple of my team members who are going to be talking about it as well, just kind of like giving their take on, hey, I didn't really believe this until I started working with him, and now it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, and Spooky can probably just, I mean, talk more about it too, but there's a lot of things that once you get into that realm of stuff, that they attach themselves to you and to your family, and then you just become more, they get more aware of what you are and what you're trying to do, you know. So somebody had told me one day that I'm a marked person. I'm marked because simply what I'm trying to do is remove those entities from their hosts. So in that term, those things start knowing who I am. And I mean, I tell you, I've been hit all types of ways in my personal life, in my finances, whatever it is, you know, I've been hit in all aspects of it. But because of what I'm doing, you know, I'm trying to help people, but at the same time, I'm paying the price, you know. And a lot of people just don't understand that part. They're just like, yeah, we can go do this, and I don't have anything that comes home for me. Yeah, you do. You don't see it. You know, there's a lot of things that are behind the scenes that people just don't understand about what's going on. You know, once you put your hands on somebody and try to remove something, you're actually allowing that thing to become part of you, you know, without realizing it, you know. So there's just a lot of things out there that people are just not realizing that I'm actually trying to educate more people on. You know, it's just the things that I've seen, the things that I've dealt with. I mean, it's just pretty crazy, you know, but I'm just trying to do what I can and try to help out the people that I actually encounter. So,
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's cool. A lot of people might, I'm not going to say any names, but there's some people in the community that they kind of shy away from the darker side of things just because they feel like it might bring. I think their reasoning is just because they just don't want any kind of dark negative energy in their life at all. So they just maybe just completely block it out. But it's cool that you're looking into it and learning about it for the reason to help people. Like,
yeah, and a lot of people just think just because I don't pay attention to it, that I'm not going to take anything home with me. So that is completely wrong. Just because you don't accept it or don't ignore it, or ignore it, doesn't mean that's going to happen. And I told them, dealing with the stuff that I deal with like demons and stuff like that. It's not right away. I'll get like a dude who's like 6'2", be like, you know what? I'm not scared of demons. I'm not scared of this. I'm like, that's good, man. That's so good. It's so wonderful. But they don't go after you. They go after your son, your daughter, your sick mom, your wife. They break you down so much that you have no other choice but to accept who they are. And then once that happens, that's when the infestation, the oppression, and the possession come in. And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, now I believe. I'm like, yeah, I bet your ass you believe now. But some people just don't accept it. Some people just don't want to even believe that there is evil things out there. But
yeah,
to teach his own, so to speak. But for those people who are going through it, I'm there for them. So,
and what can somebody do to protect themselves in a situation like that if they can't get a hold of somebody like you, or they can't, or somebody like you can't help them within a certain amount of time? Like, what's something that people can do to protect themselves in their homes?
Well, the only thing I can really say is I would reach out to your church, no matter who it is. I know the Catholic Church takes a little bit of time because they have to get approvement, with other people and all the other stuff. It's like a big chain. I wouldn't sage your house right away. That's just me. Simply because there are some things out there that you just piss off when you do a sage, and then they just don't get rid of them, and they just come back 10 times more. And
oh, really?
And stuff like that. So they're
like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get rid of me.
Yeah. So without the proper protection and all that other stuff, and the knowing, it's harder, because we don't know what we're actually dealing with. Just like the video we just seen, where do those footprints come from? We don't even know, So when you're dealing with something like that, possibly in your home, you don't know exactly what to do. So right away, the only thing that I can say is just do your due diligence at home. Make sure your family and everybody is okay, mentally, physically, because you'll see a lot of signs with like people like who are just don't know how to explain what's going on in their minds or what they're seeing or anything like that. So get to the root of that problem first. See what's going on with your family, and then try to break it down and see what's causing all this. A lot of the time too, there's family problems, there's other things that are going on. Maybe school things are happening, and it's causing whatever entity that is outside coming in. So that's the main problem. The main focus right now would be on that. From there, I would get somebody who is like a paranormal team, but I would find somebody who is not looking for evidence, but looking for to help people.
Yeah.
So that's very distinctive, because I've dealt with a lot of families who allow teams to go in and they just get the evidence, and then they run, and then they don't ever contact those people again, and those people are trying to reach out to them. So I would have to do, just do your due diligence with those people, chat with them for a little bit, try to figure out what kind of personality they have, see if they have any recommendations from any other families, stuff like that. Just how you will, get somebody to hire a job. You want to see their recommendations. You want to see their backgrounds. I mean, do all that before you let somebody in, because you don't know who you're letting into your house either. They might do something with spirit boards that you just don't completely agree with, but you're allowing them to come in and do that. What you're doing too is actually creating another way for other things to come in, because they're opening another doorway. So there's just so many things that you would have to just consider. But the first and foremost thing would be check in with your family. See how everybody's doing. See if your son or your daughter is getting bullied at school, and that's causing the depression to come in, and then that kind of brings its own attachment. Then after that, they say, okay, well, doors are opening by themselves. All this other stuff. We really need to figure it out. Find somebody who's very credible in the paranormal field and then go from there, but
So that's something that can happen. Like if somebody is just vibing really low, if they have depression, or if somebody's getting bullied at school, just being on that low vibratory scale.
That's like an open invitation for stuff to come in, so being bullied, bad days at work, for some reason you just feel down, that type of stuff brings that type of negative energy.
It's like an invitation.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes people don't even realize it. They're like, man, I've had this bad luck for like a whole entire month. And I'm like, take a step back and evaluate. Just take a step back and evaluate your life and see what's going on, and then take the proper, the movements and what's next, what needs to be handled. A lot of people, I mean, nowadays religion is kind of, it's shaky. It's shaky out there. There's so many beliefs. There's so many other things out there. But I always say, find that thing that you believe in so much and just use that as protection. If you want to use it as a rock or whatever it is, you can use that. But it's like I say, what happens if you lose that rock? What happens if you use that necklace or that bracelet that you're so protected by? What's going to happen? So whatever it is, you make sure that it's in here first and then use that, whatever it is.
Oh, that's great advice.
So it's a lot. It's a lot, but my main thing is just for whatever family is going through it, just to make sure that whatever team that you bring in is actually credible and that that they can actually help you. So, I mean,
yeah, that's important. Definitely do some references, check some references or something.
Yeah, because like I said, I've had about 6 families who invited paranormal teams to go in, and all they did was just gather evidence. And then when actually shit hit the fan, and they tried to call them, and they would never pick up and say, "Oh, well, we can't handle it." I'm like, "Well, you already got your evidence, so now they're just like, okay, well, you deal with it now." And then so, you'd be surprised how many teams are out there like that, But
just in it for the evidence and for the YouTube videos, probably.
Yeah. So that's why I said there's a lot of people with like the para unity and stuff like that. I mean, I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I really don't believe in it. There's people who will talk shit about you no matter what you try to do, like myself, doing what I do. There's people out there who say that I work with Satan. There's people out there who say that I deal with the devil and all this other stuff. I'm like, if you never investigated with me or don't know what I'm doing, why are you saying that? Just because I handle dark cases doesn't mean that I'm dabbling in the dark arts, so to speak.
Exactly.
Like Theo Vaughn, the dark arts.
Right. That's why I appreciate you sharing your reasons for doing this, because there, like you said, there's a lot of people that would say that, like, oh, I'm not going to even talk to you because you're in the dark magic, you're in the dark side of things. And it's like, well, somebody has to help the people that are in it without wanting to be in it. Like, those people don't want to be involved with this stuff, and they have nobody to turn to. So somebody has to help them.
Yeah. And you have to, it's not that you're studying it for yourself, but if you don't know something about it, how are you supposed to know what to do about it?
Exactly.
Not that you're practicing it, you're just trying to learn about it.
Yeah, we have like an extensive little library here in our own house that has different types of Bibles, different types of religions, different types of spirits, demons, all that other stuff, because you just don't know what everybody's background is. So when we go in, we got to actually, remove our faith and go one-on-one with them and go on their level to see what's really going on. Most teams are just not like that, and most teams were like, well, we're going to see what the pendulum says. Most of the time it's actually the family who's actually going through something that's leading other things there. So it's if you don't know that, then you're the paranormal investigator shouldn't be there.
Yeah, man.
Shouldn't be your title.
If I hear anybody in Texas that needs help with any kind of stuff like that, I'm definitely sending them your way, because
have you ever had to do anything like that for spirits with like someone that's an atheist that doesn't believe in God?
Yeah, I've done that with Wiccans. I've done that with Satanists. I've done that with people who don't believe in God. So, and like I said, it doesn't matter what your background is. We will work with you on everything and try to figure out what's going on. And I always tell them, this is completely up to you, but this is what works best for me. So I'm going to tell you what prayers I use, what I'm using. So that way you can either say, yes, I want you to do that, or no, I don't want you to do that. So, and I always ask permission. I always ask for permission. If you want me to cleanse your house, I'll ask for permission. If you want me to pray over you, I'll ask for permission. If you want me to remove something, I'll ask for permission. I'm not going to be just like, okay, everything out, and I don't care what you say, but I'm going to get everything out. I always ask for permission no matter what, so.
I was wondering how that works because, like, to me, if you're atheist and you don't believe in God, you don't believe in spirits or ghosts, and then you have one in your house, I bet that changes your mind a little bit.
I can tell you right now, the reason why they're calling me is because they're starting to believe it. When they just can't figure it out anymore, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna call this dude.
I guess this is real. Yep.
Yes. I mean, even with cases with children, those are the hardest ones because there's children involved. I've had a couple of cases that dealt with children who have like an imaginary friend come to them and tell them, hey, when their parents are asleep, to go slit their throat with a knife. I've had a couple of cases like that where a girl would break off the handles. She was like 5 years old. She would break off the handles to a knife and then remove the borders from the room and then stick all the blades down behind them. And then she was getting ready for something. And then one day she had told us during an interview that whatever that little fairy is coming to her wanted her to cut her parents in the throat.
What?
It was bad.
She was bad. 5 years old.
Yep, she was
hiding knives in the trim of her bedroom.
Yep, in her closet, in her bedroom closet.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so those type. I mean, I had two of them like that. So I had one in Abilene, and then the other one is in Wisconsin. That was the same thing. When I got there, they literally had all the knives, all the forks, anything sharp, locked in the safe because they did not trust, what was going on in the house. So that's when I see my doppelganger, and that's when I got pulled off. That's when I got pulled off the couch.
Are we gonna have to go another 2 hours?
Maybe for another time.
You saw your doppelganger?
I didn't mean to open up that Pandora's box, Chad. I'm sorry, man.
This guy's got some
asking questions on
content. Good Lord.
Unfortunately, I do have the video of that doppelganger, but I'm trying to figure out how to use it because I signed a non-disclosure. But because I signed the non-disclosure, it was like maybe 5 years ago or something like that, or maybe 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the show never happened. Nothing ever happened. Our contract expired with the television show, so it never got used. So I'm not too sure if I can still just use it just to put it out there. And
was it like a lifetime NDA or was it just for the contract?
I think if you signed it, somebody owns it, so you have to ask for permission. It's just I don't see them telling you no.
Right.
This person already said no to a television show already, and I'm like, dude, like this, it's literally right there. And he was like, nope. And he's never used it himself.
He just maybe he plans on it, or I don't know. I that's just being
strange.
Yeah. So like, I had a friend, an acquaintance of ours who was on Ghost Hunters, and he saw the video, and then he messaged me. It was like, hey, can we use this? I got a television show that wants to use it. And I was like, well, it's not my video, it's this guy's video. So then we did a 3-way chat, and he just straight up said, nope. And then he messaged me separately and was just like, I told you never to use this, tell you never to talk to anybody about this, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I was just like, what in the world? I'm like, it's great evidence. Nope, he never used it or anything. And then on top of that, when I asked him first about it, he said he didn't know what happened to it. It probably got deleted or all this other stuff. And I was just like, okay.
Well, and you're cool. If it got deleted, then he doesn't have a copy to show that he has it. Yeah, if he doesn't have it, then you're fine.
Yeah, so I've been pondering because it's sitting right there. I might just send it to you outright and then you can see it. But I don't know. I mean, I want to because it's cool. It's the great evidence.
Right.
But man, I so want to post it out so much. But yeah, that case, we were literally out there for about an entire week of
I could post it out
investigating.
say it's from an anonymous
Yeah,
on
really.
the chop shop because I don't know that dude.
Yep.
Well, we literally just said it on live right now.
Yeah, but on this channel, we didn't say it over on the other
Yeah,
channel.
we didn't say on the other channel.
Huh? We don't
That's
know
true.
who you are over there.
No, never seen this guy before, John.
We got to get Spooky Boy on the chop shop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say Spooky told me. They ain't gonna know who I'm talking about. Which one
Yeah.
of you guys?
We know a few different spookies in this community.
Which spooky are you? I don't
That's
know.
right.
Can't even tell them apart.
Can't even tell them apart. Yep.
You don't know which one to wear.
Well, that, yeah. Well, I got some gray here. He doesn't have any gray there, so.
Oh, I got gray. It's nice lighting.
It's a different type of light.
It's all in the lighting.
Yeah,
But
we're
yeah,
not-
that case, I was out there for about a week of just investigating and minor rights on the entire family, and yeah, it was a life-changing case, so to speak. So
yeah, we're definitely gonna, like Sonny said, our schedule is completely clear right now on Chop Shop because we're moving some time slots around and changing stuff up over there. But if you're a night owl, we're gonna start doing that show at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific, and that would be a great, that'd be a great channel to share some of that stuff on.
yeah, I mean, I start my my public investigation tours in September. So from September, October, November, I am like pretty much booked almost Thursday through Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then on top of that, with the residential cases, it's like I already have like 4 months booked solid of just cases upon cases upon cases, and new ones coming in, new ones coming out. And then on top of that, I own and operate an art gallery. So I host like First Fridays, art photography stuff, gallery stuff. So I mean, I do that on my side business, plus the paranormal stuff, plus
Staying busy.
plus the photography. So like,
Wow, we were super lucky to get you on this morning, man. Awesome.
I was dead tired. I was like, man, how am I gonna make it?
Yeah. Well, really appreciate your time, man, and I respect your time and appreciate you being here. And
Oh, not a problem.
one more time, where can people find you? We do have both links in the description, but
Yeah.
other than that, where can people get a hold of you?
So on Facebook, it's Dark Explorers Paranormal Team. That's where you can find the actual Facebook group. And then on YouTube, it's Spooky Boy Paranormal Podcast. Instagram is John Photos 33. What else did I? TikTok. Did I already say that? No, TikTok is Spooky Boy 33, I believe. So
Okay.
I mean, a lot of my photos are on Instagram, but all my evidence stuff is on YouTube and TikTok. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we
No
will
problem.
definitely be in contact and see if we can get you, booked over there on the Paranormal Chop Shop. That'd be awesome.
yeah, and then try and link me up with the dudes from Taylor. We'll get it
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
UFO Garage. Yeah, we'll get you hooked up with them too.
Cool. I appreciate you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, John. We'll see you.
No problem.
Go, man.
All right, peace.
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys, that was
That was
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
didn't have to kick him off after an hour. He's got so much stuff.
No, we could have him on for another hour.
Oh my God, I was like, how did that chair just start spinning behind you?
That
was weird.
With a guest like him, I would like to, before the shows, have them compile like their best of, like the videos that they are most proud of and they would want to show. Because
Yeah.
then that's kind of like what I was asking Eric when he came on the Chop Shop with me that night. I asked him in advance, hey man, bring me like the best of, and he said that he was still working on getting a best of list, but he did bring some really good stuff. I just think that some of these people have some amazing videos and footage.
We're gonna have to have John back on. We'll either get him on the chop shop or probably the chop shop. He won't get up. He won't have to get up so early.
He's one of those dudes that's putting in the work.
Yeah, and for all the right reasons, not just for his own.
Yeah, he's not trying to be
followers and-
famous or like become like a famous dude. He's just It's all legit.
All for the
Sincere.
right reasons to help people out. This is for Jeanette Sanchez. She wanted to hear this song before we head out of here today. So this is First Floor Audio looking for Linda. We really appreciate everybody being here today. One more time, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee. And hey, we do have actually a new member. I just looked over and saw that. Thank you to Enzo Surreal for your $10 a month Support Plus membership.
Oh, the amazing Enzo, please.
Thank you so much, Enzo. That's awesome, man.
We love you, Enzo.
Really appreciate you being here.
See the after hours go.
Yep, you get keys to the after show now.
We're gonna have some fun.
Absolutely. Let me just refresh that, make sure. Yep, okay, cool. All right, cool. Thank you, Enzo. Thanks everybody for being here. And
If we get to live for the microphone, live, work awesome.
yeah, Liv, thank you so much for the Paranormal Chop Shop microphone.
Yeah.
It's the right color and everything. All right, yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, make sure you check us out on the Chop Shop tomorrow night. Well, technically tomorrow morning if you're on the East Coast. We're going to start at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. Very specific.
At the specific time.
That's right. Cool, guys. And thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Chop Shop.
Love you, everybody. Thank you.
See you guys.
Love y'all.
It sound right, boys.